Listen, I've been thinking about something that probably keeps you up at night, and I'm willing to bet I'm not wrong about this. You meet someone, the conversation flows, there's chemistry in the air, but then you go home and you start second-guessing yourself. You replay moments in your head wondering if she was actually interested or if you were just reading too much into a simple glance. That nagging doubt, that's what I want to talk about today. Because here's the thing that most guys never realize, and I'm including some really sharp men in this category. Women actually give away their interest constantly. The signals are there. They're broadcasting them all day long. But most of us, we're looking for the wrong thing. We're waiting for some grand gesture when the real message is being delivered in whispers through body language, through small movements, through the way she positions herself when she's around you. And once you understand this language, once you start seeing these patterns, everything changes. You'll walk into a room and suddenly you'll understand what's happening before a single word gets spoken. That's what we're diving into today. I'm going to walk you through the actual physical indicators that reveal genuine attraction. Not the stuff that looks good in movies, but the real, authentic signals that show up when a woman is genuinely drawn to you. And I want you to pay close attention here, because some of these are so subtle that you've probably missed them 100 times without even knowing it. Let me start with something that happens right at the beginning of any interaction. When a woman is attracted to you, her eyes tell a story that her mouth hasn't caught up to yet. Now, I'm not talking about just looking at you. I'm talking about that specific kind of eye contact where she seems to be really seeing you. Not looking through you or past you, but directly at you. There's a steadiness to it. She's not looking away the second you notice. Instead, she holds your gaze for just a beat longer than feels accidental. And here's what's interesting. Most women will soften their expression during this moment. Her eyes might get a little wider. There's a warmth there, almost like you're someone worth her full attention. Some men describe it as feeling locked in, and that's actually a pretty accurate way to characterize it. The pupils can even dilate slightly when someone is attracted to you. And while you probably won't be close enough to notice that level of detail, what you will notice is the overall quality of the gaze. It's different from how she looks at the guy at the coffee counter or her colleague at work. It's warmer, it's more present. And if you see this kind of eye contact happening repeatedly, especially when she initiates it, that's a genuine indicator that something is registering for her on an attraction level. Now, connected to that eye contact is something about her smile that changes. A lot of people talk about smiling, but they miss the nuance here. There's the social smile, the one we all use when we're being polite or professional. That smile is fine, it's appropriate, but it's not that revealing. Then there's a different kind of smile. It's the one that reaches her eyes. You know how some people smile, but their eyes stay kind of cold? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the smile where the muscles around her eyes engage too. There's actually a crinkle there. The smile seems to take up more of her face. It comes a little faster when she sees you. It lasts a little longer. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, she might bite her bottom lip right at the edge of that smile, just for a second. That little gesture isn't random. It's a combination of playfulness and a hint of something more. She might not even be aware she's doing it, but what it signals is that she's feeling something more than just friendly. It's like her body is expressing an attraction that her mind might still be processing or deciding whether to act on. Here's something else I want you to notice, and this one is less talked about but incredibly telling. Pay attention to where her body is oriented when she's with you. I don't just mean whether she's standing close, though that matters. I mean the direction her torso is facing, where her feet are pointing, how she angles herself. When someone is genuinely interested, their body orients toward you naturally. It's almost magnetic. If she's sitting at a table and you're sitting across from her, her shoulders will start to turn toward you. Her knees will point in your direction. If you're standing in a group, her whole frame shifts so that you're in her primary field of vision. What's powerful about this is that people rarely do this consciously. You can't really fake it because it's handled by your nervous system, not your thinking brain. So, when you see a woman's body consistently oriented toward you, when she's literally angling herself in your direction, that's her system telling you something. It's a form of openness. It says, I'm making space for you. It's the physical equivalent of someone saying, come closer. There's also the matter of proximity and the way she manages space between you. Now, this doesn't mean she has to be touching you or standing right next to you at all times, but when she's had the opportunity to increase distance and she chooses not to, that's significant. For example, you're in a conversation and there's plenty of room to step back or create more space. Instead, she maintains the distance you've created. She might even lean in slightly as you're talking, reducing the gap a little bit more. She's not invading your space in an uncomfortable way, but she's not maintaining a formal distance either. That sweet spot, right there in the middle, where you both feel the other's presence, but it's not awkward. That's where attraction tends to live. When a woman repeatedly chooses proximity, when she's comfortable with closeness, and you notice she doesn't recreate distance, she's saying something important. She's saying, I'm okay with being near you. I don't feel the need to protect my space from you. And for someone in the dating world at your stage of life, that's a powerful indicator. Now, let's talk about something that happens in conversation. When a woman is interested, the quality of her listening changes. I'm not just talking about her paying attention, though she'll do that. I'm talking about the physical manifestations of that attention. When she listens to you talk, her head might tilt slightly to one side. It's a small gesture, but it opens her up, and it's subconsciously communicative. It says, I'm genuinely taking in what you're saying. She might also nod more frequently, but not in an overly enthusiastic way. It's a natural affirmation. She leans in a little bit, sometimes resting an elbow on a table or wherever you are. Her face is more animated. She's more likely to maintain eye contact while you're speaking, rather than looking away. And her responses are more engaged. She's not just saying, yeah, and waiting for her turn to talk. She's asking follow-up questions. She's picking up on details you mentioned and bringing them back up later. This engagement is attractive to men because it makes you feel seen. And when someone makes you feel seen, you feel more attracted to them. The same works in reverse. When you're getting this quality of engagement from a woman, she's demonstrating that you're important to her attention. Something that often gets overlooked is the way her voice changes. And I'm not talking about her accent or anything artificial like that. I'm talking about the baseline of her voice in your presence compared to how she talks to others. Sometimes a woman's voice will lower slightly when she's talking to someone she's attracted to. It's a subtle shift, but it's there. It can make the conversation feel more intimate, more private, like there's a secret being shared. Other times, her voice might have more energy to it, especially at the beginning of a conversation or when she's first seeing you. There's more brightness there, more aliveness. Sometimes both of these happen at different moments. The point is, there's a calibration. Her voice is different with you than it is with the barista or her friend. And that differentiation, that's specific tuning of her voice to match a more intimate or energetic tone with you, is an indicator that you're registered as someone different in her mind. Someone who gets a different version of her than just anyone off the street. Let me touch on something physical that happens that people notice but don't always interpret correctly. When a woman is nervous or attracted, she might engage in what we call self-soothing behaviors. She might run her fingers through her hair. She might tuck hair behind her ear, especially if it's revealing her face or neck more. She might play with a piece of jewelry, adjust her clothing, touch her collarbone or her neck. Now, these behaviors can mean different things in different contexts. Someone might do this because they're cold or uncomfortable. But when you see these behaviors paired with other indicators, when she's doing these things while maintaining eye contact, while smiling, while leaning in, then you're looking at something different. You're looking at someone who might be feeling some nervous energy, the kind that comes with attraction. It's that butterfly feeling, right? When you're attracted to someone and you're trying to play it cool, your body might betray you with these little gestures. She might not even realize she's doing it. Here's something else that's often missed: the way a woman holds your gaze after you've said something. And I mean specifically after you've said something meaningful, or maybe something that's a little vulnerable. If she drops the eye contact, that's one thing. She might be processing what you said, or she might not be that interested. But if she maintains it, if she even slightly increases the intensity of it, if her expression softens, that's different. That's someone who is receiving what you're putting out there. It's not dismissive, it's receptive. And reception in that moment, that openness, to you, is a form of attraction. It's a saying that what you're expressing is welcome. That matters more than you might think. Let me talk about proximity from a different angle. It's not just about how close she stands or sits. It's about whether she maintains that proximity or allows it to increase over time. If you're sitting next to someone and over the course of an hour, the space between you naturally decreases without either of you moving apart, that means something. Maybe her leg is closer to yours. Maybe her shoulder is closer to yours. Maybe if you're in adjacent chairs, she's angled herself so that you're slightly turned toward each other. The key thing here is that this is happening naturally, not forced. She's not moving dramatically, but there's a gravitational pull where the distance is decreasing over time. That's someone who is comfortable and who wants to be closer. It's an indicator of attraction expressed through physical proximity that's progressive rather than fixed. Now, here's something that gets men thinking more than it probably should, but I think it deserves attention. Pay attention to what she does with her hands when she's talking to you. Are her hands open or closed? Are they gesturing expressively, or are they more controlled? When someone is attracted to someone else and they're trying to make a good impression, their hand gestures often become a little more deliberate. She might be more expressive when she talks. Her hands might move more gracefully. Conversely, some women become a little more reserved, almost like they're trying to appear more controlled or composed. But there's usually more animation there than there would be if she didn't care. Her hands aren't in her pockets or hidden away. They're visible. They're part of the communication. That visibility and that engagement of her hands in the conversation is part of the overall picture of someone who is engaged with you. Let's get into something about her facial expressions. When you're talking and she's listening, watch her face. Does she mirror your expressions? If you mention something sad and your face becomes more serious, does hers? If you say something funny and you smile, does she? This mirroring is an unconscious indication of connection. It's her nervous system syncing up with yours. People do this with people they like, people they feel connected to. It's a subconscious bonding mechanism. And if she's mirroring your emotional expressions, that's a green light. She's not just hearing your words, she's empathizing with them. She's feeling with you. And that's a form of attraction on a deeper level than just physical. There's also the matter of how she reacts to your jokes or your attempts at humor. Now, here's the thing. This one can be tricky because you want to make sure she's genuinely laughing and not just being polite. A genuine laugh involves more of her face. Her eyes light up, her whole body might relax or lean in. It's not a perfunctory laugh. It's a real one. And if she's laughing at your jokes, especially if they're not objectively hilarious, that's a signal. She's finding you funny because there's something about you that's attractive to her. Attraction makes us more generous in our interpretations of someone's humor. It makes us more likely to laugh. It makes us more forgiving of jokes that might be a little corny. So if you're consistently getting real laughs from her, that's a good sign. Let me bring this together with something about her behavior when you're not actively talking. Does she seek reasons to be around you? Does she find excuses to be near you? Does she make plans? Does she show up? Does she follow up? These are indicators that extend beyond body language into actual behavior. A woman who is attracted isn't just sending signals in the moment. She's creating situations where there can be more moments. She's thinking about you when you're not around. She's initiating contact. She's making efforts. And that kind of behavioral investment is one of the strongest indicators of genuine attraction that you can look for. One more thing that I think is important to mention. Sometimes what a woman doesn't do is just as telling as what she does. If a woman is interested in you, she's generally not going to be looking at her phone the entire time you're together. She's not going to be distracted. She's not going to be glancing around the room at other people or other things. Her attention is on you. There's a quality of presence there that's undeniable. So if you notice that whenever you're with someone, her phone is away, her eyes are on you, her attention is genuinely with you, that's someone who is choosing to be present. And presence is a form of respect and interest combined. It says, "You're worth my time and attention." Here's what I want you to understand as we wrap this up. Attraction between people isn't a mystery. It's communicated constantly through body language, through behavior, through the small choices we make about where we direct our attention and our presence. You're at a stage of life where you've probably experienced enough relationships to understand that confusion about interest is usually confusion because we're not paying attention properly or because we're not trusting what we're seeing. Women, generally speaking, are not complicated about showing interest. They show it physically and behaviorally all the time. What's complicated is that we're sometimes looking for the wrong signals or we're overanalyzing the wrong things. Focus on the fundamentals. Focus on eye contact, on proximity, on the quality of her attention, on whether her body is oriented toward you, on whether she's engaging in conversation, on whether she's making efforts to be near you. When multiple indicators together, when you see a pattern emerging, that's your answer. She's interested. And from there, it's not about reading more signals. It's about you deciding what you want to do with that information. That's where your power actually lies.